Hello. Hello, where's my throat going? Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful weekend, long weekend, should I say. Lots and lots of time to spend off from the market, a good time to rest your brain. I'm really losing my throat all of a sudden over here. Not sure what the hell is going on, but there we go. My voice is coming back. But hopefully, everyone had a what the hell? Hopefully everyone had a wonderful long weekend and got to celebrate it with with their family members over here in Canada. I think we had a family day weekend. You guys all obviously had the President's weekend, or was it Washington's Day? Either way, nice little time off from the market, time to rest, time to reset the mind a little bit, especially if you've been in a slump or whatever. So hopefully you got to do that. Come back to the market, swinging, coming back to the market with amazing opportunities that is setting up for all of this week. How did the market do today? Sadly, however, we did pull back on the QQQ and the S&P and the IWM. There was a couple good news that came out with the Dow later on. I think Dow came out and said they're going to be adding the Uber to the index for the Dow sometime soon, and then they're also going to be adding Amazon to the Dow index. Hello, Coco's, chill out. Coco, calm down. But yeah, they're gonna figure out how to add that or when to add that to the Dow index. Uber is actually going to be replacing JetBlue in their index over there. So a couple of changes coming up near future to keep an eye out for. Last time we saw Uber when they were getting added to. Jesus Christ, my dog. Last time we saw when Uber was getting added to the S&P 500 index, how big of a move it got. It basically went into the all-time high territories, and then a little bit more of a pump from the earnings play, but sadly retracement afterwards. And today's market move, QQQ, like I mentioned earlier, down 0.7%, S&P 500 down 0.5%, and the IWM down 1.3% overall on the day. Pretty red day on the market. But we're still in the all-time high area. If you look at the chart, it's not that big of a rejection from the all-time high area. We're still sitting in pretty decent zones over here. We still have Nvidia to report earnings. Nvidia yet to report earnings, and you also have FOMC minutes tomorrow. That's the one I was trying to remember. FOMC minutes, not the Fed rate decision, but you're gonna have the FOMC minutes coming out, which is basically whatever they talked about today and tomorrow during their meetings, coming out with a nice little transcript. Maybe they are a little bit more hawkish, especially after how the CPI set up recently, and they're talking about maybe not even cutting rates anytime soon before what is it? They said they're not going to cut it till March or May. They're not going to cut March for sure, but they're not going to cut it till May. But what if they come out and say they're not going to cut it till the next one after May also? So a little bit of a worrisome maybe question mark over there for the FOMC minutes. So a little bit of a brace for impact positioning right now from the market makers, from overall participants in general. You're seeing a little bit more cautious buying, but still decent amount of buying coming into the market. At least that's what I'm being told. So from a couple of my friends that I've recently gotten acquainted to, the Think with Bookmap family, especially also from the Think with Bookmap family, said there was quite a bit of buying today. However, you guys know I'm not really watching the market right now. I am excited to get back to the trading, however, next week. So next week, or even I think Thursday, I should be able to go trade on Thursday. I want to be involved in the Nvidia trading. But let's talk about what's on store today. What's on store today is basically what we always do. We're going to look at a bunch of stocks on the watch list. We're going to prepare for some of these stocks over here. But more importantly, we're going to do a little bit of back testing. I did quite a bit of a back testing yesterday on the setup, on the playbook that I'm trying to build for myself over here. You guys have seen me build scanners for it. You guys have seen me manually back test a couple days here and there. But now we were able to figure out how to really back test on trade ideas directly. So doing that back test, I was able to play with it a little bit. We're gonna do that setup and another setup too. We're gonna back test another setup after that, and a setup that is actually very easy for every one of you to kind of get involved with and kind of start off your trading career if you're new to it. So we'll talk about that one and see how the results show up for both of these back tests, and eventually we'll try to incorporate it into our playbook. One of these back tests, actually a setup that we were previously looking to incorporate into the playbook, but we just never really did so. But now we have a reason to do so because we back tested it, and I might just be able to use the software that we're gonna back test to trade for me at the same time. And the software in question is Trade Ideas, our sponsor of the day. Thank you for making the stream possible, Trade Ideas. It's an amazing software to help you not only find find the stocks using scanners, but you can also use it for back testing, something that we're going to use for today. You can use it for charting. You can also use it to trade for you on your own brokerage. So check out Trade Ideas. The link is down below in the description. Code is PRAD15 to get 15% off at the checkout. Let's go get the party started. We got a bunch of people in the chat already. We got TH, Dieter, Trade in a Yard in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing? And we got a bunch of other people over here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. But yeah, let's get the party started, people, with the stocks that announced some of the earnings moves today, starting with names like bang, watch list over here as you guys see it. Not a lot of big watch lists. I can't even scroll all the way down. Usually you'll see a bigger watch list than that, but right there, a couple other stocks below Google is just Nvidia, Netflix, Tesla, QQQ, SPY, and IWM. But we're not even going to most likely go through all of that watch list for tomorrow. We'll look for most of the plays over here and then just kind of go do what I want to do. More importantly is work through our sponsor for the day today, which is Trade Ideas. Work with the software over there, show you guys the advantages of Trade Ideas, and show you guys the new setup that I've been playing with, and how the results are kind of looking juicy for that. We'll play with the results over there too to see if we can learn something new from it, and maybe you guys can notice something different and educate me with it. But starting off with PANW. PANW came out with earnings today pre-market. Sorry, after hours. What am I saying? Came out with earnings after hours. Shout out to Benzinga, another one of our sponsors. They help us with all the stocks news is coming out on time. So Benzinga over here coming out with their earnings report. We actually copied this earnings report already, put it into ChatGPT for us to help us with a little bit of the analyzation of the report. So let's take a look at what ChatGPT says. ChatGPT, for the most part, at least the report for the most part from Palo Alto or PANW, was bullish, right? Everything that you see starting from over here all the way until over down over here, it looks pretty bullish. 19% year over year increase. Another increase over here. They actually beat the earnings per share. 22% increase on remaining performance obligations, grew 22%, whatever that means. Adjusted operating margin grew 29%. Aurora highlighted company leadership across its 3 platforms, emphasized the activation of accelerated platformization. So many big words over there. Consolidation strategy and AI leadership strategy. So overall, just a bunch of nonsense in my opinion, but they're talking about usage of AI, I guess, which is a good thing. The company provided outlook. Here's where things started going bad in the report. Their outlook comes well below the estimate. The estimate is 2.04 billion, and they report a little bit below the estimate. They report 1.95 to 1.98, and also EPS comes out below the estimates, and hence the stock gets absolutely smoked to the downside on the report today. So here's a PANW on the daily chart. Here I'll show it to you on the monthly chart. Pretty much near all-time high on the I remember last time PANW was its earnings report right around over here. I think it was getting added to the S&P 500 index. That took it to a new all-time high. Then it got stuffed back down, and using the earnings report, it kind of started making this rally towards $400. And now, sadly, with the next earnings report, everything just got completely turned around on this position. And like I mentioned already, let's go to the 5-minute chart, show you what the after hour chart looks like. Big destruction move, down 20% or so on that earnings report. So we're going to quickly tag up the earnings report over here. February 2024 earnings report for ER, earnings anchor VWAP. Let's put that bad boy in. We got a new subscriber, Britt coming in. Britta, I'm just gonna stop at that before I ruin your name. Britta coming out with the new subscriber. What's up? Thank you, Britta. Barkit Hi Prad, bought PANW at the market after close at 290. Your thoughts and chart analysis? Well, you're right on time, my friend, because we're actually talking about PANW right now. So as you guys can see right now, PANW obviously big sell off after hours. How much was that? We were right around 09, so let's put it over there. That's about, yeah, 20% sell off to the downside. Now let's actually, that's a pretty big distance away from where the earnings anchored VWAP is. If you ask me, the stock has a good opportunity to get back to 300 and then maybe reject 300. So if you bought 290, maybe you get a little bit of a pop. You can see right there in the after hours right before 300, there's a little bit of a selling right before 300 over there. This looks like over exaggeration though, if you ask me. Look, the report wasn't as bearish as you think it would be. The report only came in 1.24 to 1.26 compared to estimates of 1.29. They're expecting this is the full fiscal year. We don't see the estimates for the full fiscal year, but we do see the revenue. Where's the revenue? Sorry, there you go. The revenue 1.95 to 1.98 compared to 2.04. So it's not that big of a miss against the estimates, but the way the market reacted, a big downside move. Britta coming in with the $1 donation. First super chat on the live stream. Let's go. What's up, Britta? Thank you for that. Hopefully some of my animations went off because we've never actually had that play any animations before. DK England, good evening. How are you doing? Welcome. I'm so glad you have this channel. I'm so glad I have this channel too. DK England, I actually remember that username from maybe from the Trader TV live channel. If you've been in that channel before, for some reason I remember that username. But welcome. Lots of new usernames that I see at the moment. Welcome to the channel. Right now, we're talking about PANW. So let's continue about PANW. What I usually like to do is we go to the 5-minute chart, turn off the extended trading hours. Then I actually like to go to the 60-minute chart. And then I like to start chart out some areas. We already know the stock is all the way at these bottoms, right? And you can see a nice little consolidation going into these lows before the breakout happens on the stock. So let me just mark out that little bottom over there. I think that's 1 day's worth. Oh, that's 2 days worth of information over there. But what was it? Let's quickly see. That's around the 4th low and the 5th low too, and the 8th it takes off. So right around $281 looks like there could be a little bit of a bottom. If you can also pull that marker right back there to see, you can see how it makes a little bit of a double bottom on the hourly chart. So that looks interesting to me. If this report is bearish enough, it could easily maybe go down to this 265 area. That could be something to keep an eye out for. The stock previously was trading somewhere around these areas. I mean, that seems pretty interesting to me too. 257, 260, 265. The thing is, nobody really knows what's going on with the stocks, right? Nobody has the future. Nobody has a crystal ball. What we can do is expect the best, or create some scenarios for us to trade off of, and then when those scenarios do come into play, you execute off of those scenarios, right? So first, what we see is I think the stock is already near 280, maybe near 290. We put in an anchor VWAP for the stock after the earnings play. So let me go back to the extended hours right there. Oh, nice little consolidation right between our two lines. I like that. The earnings anchored VWAP is right around the lower end of that trend line too. We're not really all the way back down to 280, and 265 would be a little bit of way too much of an exaggerated move to the downside, in my opinion. There is a chance that the stock does go test 280 maybe off the open, maybe even in pre-market, but I'm looking for a move back to the north side tomorrow because I think this report was just a little too over exaggerated. So you said you bought the stock around 290. The low a day right now in the after hours exactly 288.79. I mean, there is an opportunity. There is a chance that the stock could go into 280 if you ask me. Honestly, there's an easy chance to see the stock right back into 280 tomorrow, which is that double bottom. Oop, I didn't mean to put that line there. Which is that double bottom on the daily chart too. You can see a nice little double bottom on the daily chart right before the previous earnings report. Right before the previous earnings report, we break out, we pull back, find support, run up again, pull back, find support at the same low. Quick technical analysis over here, and we're just what, $8 shy off of that. I don't see why not. We just go right back down there and find a little bit more support. So go check out the stock tomorrow around 280. Who was it again? Who said that? Barkey got the stock at 290. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to give it to all the way to 280 to the downside tomorrow, then maybe be a little bit careful. Something that stands out to me on the daily chart too is on the 100 period EMA. It's exactly near $300. So that means if the stock actually pops back into 300, I'm not going to expect too much happening other than 300 tomorrow, which is also right where the earnings anchored VWAP most likely gets drawn down to. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Most likely the earnings anchored VWAP gets drawn down all the way back into 300 and flat lines over here. And for that, you might see the stock going into 280 and then bouncing from 280 into 300. So that could be an opportunity right into the 280 area for us to get long for a move into 300. And if that opportunity comes in, that's going to be a big long chance for me to smash into. But let's say the stock doesn't even go into 280 tomorrow. We're watching this after hour low get respected. The after hour low actually shows up as more buyers because what we think is actually coming out to be true, which is the report's not as bearish. So if more buyers come in tomorrow in pre-market right off the open, the stock is right around these areas still. If we're still around this area off the open, then I would love to look for that long back into 300, maybe to 310 or so, wherever stock wants to go to. We'll just ride it to the north side. Keep in mind, it will be on SSR, which is short sale restriction. You will not be able to short the stock on the way up. So you will not be able to short the stock just by taking out the size on the bid. You got to wait for the stock to go up higher to get picked up on the shorts because it's down more than 10%. That rule will apply for 2 days. 2 days on PANW. The next stock on the watch list for tomorrow, let's go check out the watch list once again. Did I close it? Nope, it's right there. Next stock on the watch list, SEDG, another one that announced earnings today after hours. Let's go pull into the 1 minute chart so we're able to put in the earnings anchored VWAP. It came out at 05 ER February 24. February 24. So it looks like it went up first, came all the way back to $64 or so, pulled back into today's low, and basically rejected at today's low in the after hours after the earnings report. Quick look at the earnings report on Earnings Whispers over here. In the meantime, I'll pull up Benzinga and let Benzinga load up the report for SEDG for us. So over here, you guys can see looks like a 2% miss on revenue, whereas a 31% beat on EPS. Still losing money, sadly, on SEDG. I think SEDG, along with ENPH, not that I think, it is a play, which is interest rates. If interest rates are still at risk of going or staying steady and not really going up, these companies are not most likely going anywhere higher just yet. Once interest rates start going lower, you're going to watch SEDG and ENPH start taking off one more time. They did look like it was going to happen when interest rates were about to get halted or so on, or not halted, where they are halted. Interest rates looked like they were going to get cut before Papa Powell came on and said that we're not going to do that just yet. But yeah, that possible catalyst over here hurting them. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock or 2:30, whenever that FOMC minutes comes out, if Papa Powell and company are bullish on that report, or should I say dovish on that report, maybe SCDG and ENPH could use that to lift off tomorrow. But let's look at the stock solely off of its earnings report that came out after hours. And off the earnings report, we're seeing over here, thanks to again Benzinga, looks like they lost about 30% on one part of the report. Wow, really? Quarterly ROS per share was at 92 cents, beating the estimates by 30%. There you go. That's what I thought. So, and the other one, which was 2% miss. Sales per quarter represented 64.5% decrease compared to the same period last year. So that's not something good at all for SEDG, solar company. Acknowledges the challenges faced in the second half of 2023 with the shift to weaker market due to higher interest rates and lower power prices. Despite these challenges, the company concluded the year with $3 billion in revenue, just below 2022 levels. The CEO expanded Lando's F1 driver. Confidence in the company's position in the next growth cycle, citing the expanding product portfolio and operational and cost reduction measures taken. Okay, For the first quarter, solar anticipates revenue to be in 175 to 215. Revenue from the solar segment is expected to be 160 to 200. The company also expects gross margin from the solar segment to be between 1 to 5%, approximately 900 basis points of net IRA manufacturing tax credit. Okay. After announcement of the financial report, stock tracked down 17%. Market reaction suggests, yeah, okay, you're just trying to give me a disclaimer over there. Thank you, OpenAI, for the disclaimer. But let's go take a look at SCDG quickly on the after hour move. As we already saw, it did move around. We saw that it rejected at the after hour low, but that pop into $92.93 or $93, let's say, looks pretty interesting to me. I guess this report wasn't really that bearish. Maybe we do see some buying come in. A second report that I feel like it's not bearish, so maybe we actually do see some bullish move coming in tomorrow on both. That only pre-market will tell me that move. So first, I'm gonna turn off extended trading hours. We're gonna go to the hourly chart and see some of the levels that might be interesting. What is wrong with that candle over there? Big volume spike on that day, on the 7th of February of this year. Maybe something to do with interest rates today on that day. A lot of choppiness overall, a little bit of consolidation in this range over here. I like that. Most likely some supports to come in off of that area. I'm just gonna quickly mark that area real quick, and I'm gonna mark this little double bottom zone off of that. I'm gonna mark this little double bottom over there. And we're already under all of this, actually, if I remember correctly. We're like near $60 or something. So we're like over here, aren't we? So that area did not actually show up as support, surprisingly enough. We're all the way near previous earnings low. Is that where we are at? Yikes. I mean, what is that low again? That's near $63.26. So, I mean, are we all the way back there? Let's go check it out. 5-minute extended trading hours. And yeah, right about it. I mean, you can see how we bounced right in front of that double bottom on the daily chart, which also happened to be the previous earnings low. Let's just show you that chart again. Previous earnings low coming into play. Is this the 52-week low? Also the 52-week low. So previous 52-week low, previous earnings day low coming into play right now in the after hours. And looks like it's good support, or yeah, good support in front of that. Nice move back above the $70 zones at the moment, where we have some other lines mapped out. Possible supports could come off of these areas again. You can see how the earnings anchored VWAP, the stock where it's bottoming out, also happens to be on the stock where we just put in a line not too long ago. So that's pretty bullish for me. But the rejection near yesterday's low, or should I say today's low, is pretty evident. So I'm guessing a little bit of a move right here in these ranges, at which point I don't really want to do anything on SCDG. But once again, tomorrow is that FOMC minutes coming out at let's go take a look. It should be at 2:30, right? Tomorrow 2:30 or 2 o'clock. Sorry. 2 o'clock FOMC minutes comes out. 2:30 is on FOMC day when they come out and they start talking on the mic, or they being Powell. But 2 o'clock tomorrow, FOMC minutes, you got a transcript and you will see exactly everything that they talked about. You might even see a bunch of red lines showing you what's different from this transcript to the previous transcript. And I'm expecting quite a bunch of different information to be on this transcript, especially after that CPI coming out a little bit hot, right? So be careful on that one. Oso coming in with that yo. What's up, Oso? How you doing, brother? I posted a link on X as Britta. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Prad, what do you think of the love of Amazon into yeah, we were just talking about that at the start of the stream. Nice catalyst, got some 165 calls for the end of March. Yeah, it's a good catalyst. Obviously, Amazon getting added to Dow. Uber's getting added to the Dow too, so maybe Uber gets lifted off of that too. We'll see what happens overall. The market's at all-time highs. So I think the markets are at this point just waiting for interest rate decisions to just see a bigger liftoff, right? So getting added to the Dow or not getting added to the Dow is bullish enough for the stocks temporary move. But if we're thinking a longer term move, honestly, we're still talking interest rates over here. We're still talking about inflation and so on. So I think we're still having to have that conversation. Sadly, we're not out of that battle yet with this hot CPI that came in recently. So we'll wait and see what FOMC comes out tomorrow. FOMC minutes, sorry, should I say. We'll see how that one comes out tomorrow. Barkey coming out. Thanks a lot with such detailed analysis of PANW. One more question, if that's okay. Thoughts on NVIDIA ER tomorrow after market close? Tomorrow market close, you might have to just tune in for that one. And I don't have any crystal balls. I always say no crystal balls. I can't really tell you how what to expect from a stock or what to predict from an earnings report. Sounds like a lot of gambling to me when people actually try to do that. There are ways to do couple of those calculations, such as using what I'm doing right now for you, which is checking out other tools over here, using options calculators, and using this tool that I use myself, not affiliated with them yet, use the terminology yet, but they're expecting about 10% move over here. This is options AI. They use a little bit of options, a little bit of AI. They calculate what they think the earnings expected move will be, but you got to keep in mind this is based on where the stock is closed today after close, which is at $694, and 10% move from there to the upside or 10% move from there to the downside is exactly what you see on the screen right now. But tomorrow at close, the stock might be at 700, it might be at 750, and it could be an even bigger percentage move, and it could be even if they announce a bigger surprise, right? If NVIDIA comes out with a big surprise, maybe it goes more than 10%, it could go 15, 20, 25%. So nobody really knows with these expectations, especially with such a hot industry such as semiconductors that have been absolutely going crazy recently. So no expectations. I would say just no need to gamble on that. Just wait for them to report. Read the report like we're doing right now, and then you'll be able to do all the bets you want to take over there, make all the money you want to make on NVIDIA, and trust me, I think that'll be the smarter thing to do. So just come and tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow for the stream, and we'll talk about NVIDIA all day. Trust me, we'll talk about how excited we are on NVIDIA. But right now, we just talked about SEDG. So let me just put in some of the notes over here for SEDG. The support's around $63. That'll be like the bottom tier support for me right now. I'm looking at that 73.50 area to 74 as my first area of support. Under that, we'll look at 71, and under 71, I'm basically going all the way back into that $63.25 area for that last support. As for resistances, you're looking for right back into yesterday's low, which was, where was it? Today's low, 81.82, basically $82. 81 $80 to $82 is my resistance for SEDG. Above that, you can use today's high. Where'd my cursor go? Hello? You can use today's high for anyone wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually putting the notes over here into my notes. You can use today's high, which is $84.69. I'm going to give it all the way up to $85 though. So $84.50 to $85 as an area. And above that, the after hour tick that the stock made. Let me turn off the watch list for you. The after hour tick that the stock made at $93 for SEDG. I'm going to quickly go back to PANW just so I can put in the notes. I kind of forgot to put in the notes for myself. So I'm watching that 280.50 bottom, or all the way basically up to 280 to 280, all the way to the low side. Resistance, I'm looking at 300 first. Above 300, that 310 area, and then above 310, you're basically looking at 320 over here. I don't really expect the stock to go much higher than this. You're also watching on the 5-minute chart. 320 is exactly where the 100 period EMA is. I don't think we're going much higher than this. So watch out for PANW to the north side if you are long. However, the report is not that bearish. So maybe we do get some monster correction move coming up to the north side. Read the report for yourself though. Do your own due diligence. From our estimation and from our understanding of the report, it wasn't that bearish. They did report slightly under guidance for the next report, but it was not that bad. All right, the next stock on the watch list over here, ladies and gentlemen, is O. O is reality income corporation, real estate corporation company. Didn't really think I wanted to even put this on the watch list, but when I pulled up the stock on the chart, some things actually stood out. As maybe there could be a trading opportunity over here. So I actually didn't read the report at all. So let's take a look at the report over here. Looks like the stock reported a little bit of a miss on the report. They missed by 10% on the EPS. Revenue was slight beat, not really beating the revenue at all. So red earnings report, they could have easily possibly pulled back into $45. Let's go check it out. Nothing burger move in the after hours. Looks like they did absolutely nothing. Maybe I was right by thinking I don't even want to have the stock on my watch list tomorrow. Yeah, it didn't really do anything. Maybe if the stock can bring in some volume in pre-market, maybe there's something for us to take a look at. But look how the stock clearly has some struggle in this area of 60 to 62. The report wasn't really that bullish. I'm expecting the stock to most likely sell off tomorrow, especially if the market's weaker. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe the report has something bullish in it that I don't really want to go read too much about. The stock average volume on 30 days only 8 million for a $52 stock. So that's also not really too exciting. So I don't really want to waste too much time over here on O. I'm going to head over to the next stock on the watch list, TOL. Someone who's lower volume, sadly, on the 30-day average, but at a daily chart, which you're looking at right now. This is a daily chart, beautiful level on the daily chart and also on the all-time chart, pretty much at all-time highs at the moment. This is the one month chart, sorry, at all-time highs at the moment. That beautiful consolidation on the daily chart over here, basically the all-time high consolidation. Now let's go take the earnings report. This is a home building company for those of you wondering what it is. TOL, Toll Brothers, 26% beat on EPS and almost 4% beat on revenue. So monster move to the upside on TOL. I'm guessing they're above 107 over here, right? Yeah, easily above 107. Why not? Taking out the previous all-time highs. Let's go put that line quickly down. I think that number comes back into play tomorrow as a support. Wait, is it? I thought it was 107. It's 105.91. Okay, so maybe that 105, or should I say 106, comes back into play tomorrow for some possible test of supports. That's right there. Yeah, right. We're closed exactly around in that area in the after hours. We got to pump into this 108.50 in the after hours, which is pretty clean. I think we got a little bit of a range over here for the stock to play out in. Let me go to the 1 minute chart just so I can put in the earnings anchored view up. Looks like the volume kind of kicked in off of this area. I'm just gonna put in wherever the trading view is going to say earnings was. So ER Feb 24. The stock is pretty much holding earnings view up at the moment. Very little volume going into the close. I'm not really going to count that much of a hold in that area or whatever. The 100 period EMA looking like it wants to pull up to that 106. So basically expecting that 106 area as a good inflection point. Not really a support at the moment. We could see a little bit of a chop around this area. Watch out for that. The stock's ATR is $2.88. It only has a 30-day average of 1.5 million shares, and with the ATR of 288 for $108 stock, it could be very spready, especially off the open. So you could expect a lot of movement coming in pre-market, maybe a little bit of a movement in off the open too. So not something to make a decision right off the bat. Maybe you want to wait for the stock to reclaim 106 to make that long into 108.50, and then that's an opportunity for you to get in or something around those areas. So I'm looking for 106 to be an inflection area. It's not really a support for me. I would like to see 106 turn into support in pre-market. That would change the whole game. But if 106 right now, with how we're behaving in the after hours and with the light volume on the stock, I'm gonna have to use it as inflection. So that would mean the support would have to come in for me right around today's high, or even right before today's high, right around this 105, 104 area. You can see how 104.50 is the 100 period EMA. 105 is exactly where the 50 period EMA is. So expecting 105, 104 to show some support, but today's high is basically 103.50, so it's 104 in my opinion. So 103.75, so 103.75 to 105 is where, no, I'm gonna say 104. Screw it, 105 is just too much of a range. 103.75 to 104 is my first area of support if that area does come to get contested. Resistance, that beautiful marker that the stock has already created in the after hours on the earnings move, which is clearly now the new all-time high at $108.50. So there you go, Toll Brothers. The next stock on the watch list, something that announced earnings report today and also made a new all-time high. Shout out to Walmart. Shout out to Walmart finally breaking out, making another new all-time high. Walmart just can't stop, won't stop. It did look like Walmart was getting beat up not too long ago because of the Ozempic pill crisis, or should I call it the Ozempic pill crisis? They had a little bit of a worrisome. I think Walmart CEO also came out and said inventories were, sales were going down because of Ozempic. A lot of struggle was coming into a lot of food companies. What was it? McDonald's got crushed out of Ozempic. Maybe Wendy's got crushed out of Ozempic too, right? A lot of food companies got crushed from the Ozempic pill overall. Was it a pill or was it an injection? Whatever it is. But Walmart making a beautiful recovery over here. You know, Walmart just can't lose. Everyone loves to go to Walmart. Either everyone mostly shops at Walmart or Costco at this point, right? They own most of the market share. Nice little breakout on the earnings report. Report came out pre-market, so let me quickly mark in that anchor VWAP for myself. Bang, 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 bang. So stock came out report pre-market. Sadly, this 180 area, I saw a lot of my friends trade this 180 area and they got chopped up. I understand it, right? You would expect 180 area to be some sort of a trade, some sort of a banger opportunity, and they kept trying to trade this area. I possibly would have gotten beat up in this area too. As you know, hindsight's 2020. Now that I look at it, you know, I probably would have gotten long somewhere here. Probably would have added somewhere on the break high a day and then held it way too much against me and probably got beat up on the stock too now that I look at it. But look how choppy it was around that 180. The anchored VWAP for today alone, ignoring pre-market, if you just look at today's anchored VWAP, or today's VWAP, should I say, why do I keep saying that way? It shows you how 180 was basically the magnet price for all the way till 10 o'clock, till 10:30. Later on, it's just like, okay, we don't have enough buyers. Clearly, there's way too many sellers. We're just going to give up and we're going to flush to the downside. And that's why the stock continues to the downside over here, all the way back to the low end. And it's trapped a lot of people that I didn't really enjoy seeing. It created a beautiful wedge pattern, though. You could have possibly scoped out that wedge pattern later on and caught the breakout of that wedge pattern eventually. And that, oh, beautiful breakout of that wedge pattern over there. Mamma mia, a symmetrical triangle breakout. Oh, beautiful breakout to the downside, and then, you know, flushing even lower. Sadly, wasn't really trading today. Even if I did, like I said, I would have probably gotten chopped up along with my other friends who got chopped up over here on 180 on Walmart. One thing I did mention to them is if it wasn't clean off the open and it wasn't clean for so long after the open, maybe you shouldn't have been trying to keep forcing the trade over here. But you know, that's something that I noticed off the hindsight. Like I said, I would have probably done the same. Now, what we want to look for, however, are trading opportunities for tomorrow. How can we take advantage of Walmart's positive earnings report over here for a possible trade? The candle on the daily chart, very bearish. Not really the most bullish candle over here on earnings. Good support around 175. So let's just put in around today's low to be support. You don't want to see the stock going below today's low. You absolutely don't want to see the stock going below today's low. Even more so, you don't want to see it going back into that 170 area. I don't really want to put the marker 172. I mean, you could put that marker near 172, but you can see how it chopped around this area a bit before it really broke out off the earnings report. The stock also splits, comes up very soon, 26th of February. It splits next week. What? A 3-to-1 stock split coming on Walmart in next week. So watch out for that one over there. However, we do have this line right now to keep an eye out for tomorrow's trades. Walmart possibly gets bought up a little bit more before that split. Not sure what the deadline is before the split. Is the deadline all the way up to this marker? I think we might have to Google that. Is that today? Oh no, that's on Friday. So there you go. Why is Walmart doing a goddamn stock split at $130 or $180? Ah, okay. I mean, that's honorable. He said basically they want people to own full shares instead of fractions, which is where a lot of trading is honestly going to go into. It's just going to go into fractionals with Bitcoin coming in more and more into the more ecosystem of trading. You're going to see a lot more fractionals coming into the game over here, obviously. Walmart, I guess that's an honorable thing. I think there's a deeper system behind it. Maybe they're trying to just dilute the company over here a little bit. I don't know. I'm just being cynical. But a stock split coming up, and maybe it gets bought up a little bit more before the stock split. The earnings report, obviously nice and bullish. It got pushed up to the north side over here. 175, expecting 175 to show some support for me. However, you can see where is the earnings anchored VWAP around 177, right where today's VWAP is, basically 177.50. Maybe some area of resistance over there for us to keep and watch out for. But right now, I only want to see buying. I want to see supports. So if it's under 175, maybe you can wait near 170 or even 171 for the stock to show some support, and then get some longs over here on the stock. But yeah, I'm not really looking to short Walmart at the moment. So if I can get long on the dips, I'm gonna look to continue getting long on the dips. But if I can get long at my support lines, that would be even better. So let's look for let's look for that nice little cup and handle patterns or a double bottom patterns at the levels that we have mapped out for. Next stock that also announced earnings report today pre-market, Home Depot, also near all-time high if I remember correctly. No, not nearly, but almost there. Let's go take a look at the report. The report is nice and positive. That's good. 2% beat on EPS, about 0.5% beat on revenue. How did they move up or down? Looks like they reported earnings at pre-market, but they moved up overall, or should I say pretty much had what's that word I'm looking for? I always say this word. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. How am I drawing a blank on this? Darn it, how am I drawing a blank on this? What do you call it again? Inside day. Pretty much having a kind of an inside day. It gapped down a little bit, but it popped right back into the previous day's ranges, as you guys can see. Opened pretty damn close near into yesterday's low, and popped right back up. Used yesterday's low as support later on, and used yesterday's high as pretty much resistance also. So looking for some support coming in right around yesterday's low over here. You can see where today's VWAP, yesterday's VWAP, the earnings anchored VWAP, all coming in right around this 360 area. So Home Depot, let's see some beautiful support coming in right around that 360 for me. I don't really want to see the stock under 360. Under 360, trouble. Nope, 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 no move under 360, please. As for resistances, we got this now, the new 52-week high, which is it's not the new 52-week high, sorry. The previous 52-week high, which is around 368.72, but just before that, just shy of that, we have today's high, which is around $365, and above 365, obviously, we have that 52-week high of 368.72. 369/370. Honestly, I'm just gonna give it up to 370. I'm not gonna not put 370 on the list over here for myself when we're that close to 370. So Home Depot, keep an eye out for it. The stock's ATR is also $6. So depending on where we open in pre-market, maybe we do have that chance to go test out 370 tomorrow for a nice opportunity to get long on Home Depot. As you guys saw, we gapped down in pre-market, but eventually got bought right back up, and we ended up reclaiming yesterday's ranges, which is very, very bullish of a reclaim on the daily chart. Now we're looking for a breakout of the 52-week high, especially if the markets are bullish tomorrow too. Let's see if the markets can make it tomorrow. Makes it harder to be taken over. I mean, who's got the money to take over Walmart? Who's got the money to take over Walmart? Maybe Costco? I don't know. Maybe China taking over Walmart. I don't know. But yeah, Home Depot. We got a couple stocks over here that announce earnings reports tomorrow pre-market, and let me show you the earnings boards over here for the rest of the week since we're talking about it. Tomorrow pre-market, the only two ones that I'm interested in, Wingstop. I love Wingstop, even though I've never tried it. I want to try Wingstop so damn badly. Wingstop and Wix, which is basically a website creating company. Their volume is pretty low. It's like only 600,000, 500,000 shares average on 30-day. But on earnings day, sometimes they do bring in a good amount of volume. They're also near all-time highs. Nope, I lied. They're near 52-week highs. I thought they were near all-time highs. They're near 52-week highs. So if they do bring in some volume tomorrow in pre-market, maybe something to keep an eye out for. But something that I always love reminding you guys is what time these companies that report earnings pre-market have conference calls at, and that is tomorrow. Wingstop will have it at 10 o'clock. So maybe you want to be careful trading Wingstop at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Be a little bit careful trading Wingstop at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other than that, you got Nvidia after the close, Rivian after the close, Etsy, Lucid, Dutch Bros, a brand new recent IPO not that long ago, but one of the more recent IPOs coming up with the report tomorrow after hours. Suncor, I think that's energy. Is that Canadian company? I think it is. I don't know. But we got more coming up next the next few days this week. Moderna, Square, Warner Brother Discovery, and a bunch of other stocks over here to keep an eye out for. So make sure you keep tuning in, and we'll talk about those stocks as they ripen up for us on the watch list. But let's talk about the next one over here, DFS. DFS got a big move up today because they're getting acquired by Citigroup Financial. So another bank acquiring another bank over here. So Citigroup Financial getting acquired, acquiring DFS, giving it a nice little bump up to the north side. I might need to read up more on the deal, to be honest. I didn't really read up on the deal, so let me pull up Alpha Rank. Alpha Rank, come on, open up. DFS. They probably don't even have it yet. This is a brand new deal, pretty sure. Oh, they do. Wow, these guys work damn quick, huh? Okay. Yeah, it's not really a cash deal, so it's a share deal. So, wow, really? 1-to-1? I don't know what I'm talking about at this point, but at the end of the day, basically, you wanna at this point, these two charts. See, is this Citigroup or no? It's Capital One. What's Capital One? COF. COF is buying out. Yeah, COF. That's a big volume. There you go. COF is buying out DFS. So you basically will see Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I thought Citigroup was buying out DFS, sorry, but now that makes a lot more sense. These stocks are pretty much in the same price area, same price ranges, and you should see them trading very, very similar. So if you're seeing COF go up, you should see DFS go up. If you're seeing COF go down, you should see DFS go down too. That's pretty surprising though. Their share consideration almost one full share, so it's like if you own one share of DFS, you basically get one full share of COF. I think that's how the deal is going through. I might need to look more into it. It's not a cash deal, so not really a trade for me, but for those of you who like to do arbitrage trading, there could be a little bit of arbitrage here and there when the algos get lazy or when the algos to slow down or whatever, for you to catch into that long or that short. The DFS could be a little bit slower than COF, or COF could be a little bit slower than DFS. Usually DFS should be slower because COF is acquiring DFS, so make sure you're watching them. Eventually DFS should get deleted from the stock market and COF should own it completely. So just the stock that I wanted to put it up on the watch list over here to keep an eye out for, but no real trades for me tomorrow on that one. Couple other stocks over here that we have, a lot of small cap stocks. Pretty sure most of these small caps most likely will not be in play tomorrow, because anytime I prepare for any goddamn small cap, they're never in play. They're never in play and they die out the very next day. So hopefully I didn't curse you guys over here by looking at these small caps. Also, technical analysis on small caps, in my opinion, doesn't mean shit. You're just looking at patterns. You're looking at bull flag breakout. You're looking at, like, that right there is a pretty good breakout kind of entry. Like, you enter over there, put the stop at the under VWAP or something. Another small bull flag over here on the 5-minute. Another small bull flag that you get to scalp off of. You can later on catch the Bella scalp as a short entry, maybe somewhere like that on the break of that trend. You get to catch that short to the downside. So there, you just look for bunch of patterns to play off of, in my opinion, on these small caps. When you try to technical chart it, you could get some levels to play off of, but the games that they play on these stocks are so much more crazier than technical analysis, is that I don't feel like it's ever safe to play off of these lines that I draw on small caps. Also, like I mentioned, these stocks always never move when I look at them. It's always some brand new position that moves around in pre-market that gets all the love and all the attention, never the one that I take a look at. So we'll see what happens if LUNR, CPOP, IOVA, all three that I have on my board today for the small cap sectors, take off tomorrow. Is IOVA even small cap? This one's 3 billion market cap. Maybe not a small cap over here. Maybe a small float. Well, how much float is IOVA? IOVA is 250 million float. That's not a small float. Is CPOP a small float? 18 million. Yeah, that's a low float. Is LUNR a low float? That's got to be a low float. That's also an 18 million. Okay. IOVA, not really a low float, but I guess I thought it was a low float because it was recently a $3 stock, now at $11 stock. It's just that health tech sector stock. So maybe a biotech sector taking off, maybe some sort of a phase 2 deal over here for IOVA, taking up 30% to the north side. Something to maybe keep an eye out for over here. Something to possibly keep an eye out for. A very, very good trade. So watch out for that one. TraderPrad, what's up? Says Think with Bookmap. What's up, brother? How you doing? Welcome. Channel raid. Yo, everyone go check out Think with Bookmap, and everyone from Think with Bookmap family, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Welcome to the family for TraderPrad. This is the after, I always screw it up. This is after the after hour show with your boy TraderPrad, where we talk about some of the stocks on our watch list, starting with PANW, SEDG, basically earnings movers. We like to take a look at earnings movers over here. We still got a pretty extensive watch list, but after this watch list is done, we're gonna head over and take a look at some of the back tests that I have prepared for you guys over here. I have 2 strategies that I can't wait to talk about. We're gonna kind of go through that back test. We're gonna go through some white papers that got posted recently that got me excited about a strategy more. So we're gonna take a look at that. Let's go have some fun with Trade Ideas, who is the sponsor of the stream. So shout out to Trade Ideas. Go check out the link below in the description to get Trade Ideas and use code PRAD15 to get 15% off. And make sure that you hit subscribe to your friends and family at Think with Bookmap. They are awesome. Think with Bookmap and TraderPrad are awesome, says DK Inland. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. You guys are all awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome once again. I love you guys. Where were we? We were talking about IOVA. Yeah, not really a small cap, but nice little move up to the north side. I think I used to have a website, FDA Catalyst. That's what you type in. Yeah, I remember this. FDA Catalyst. Got it. Close that. Turn off my night reader because that might be a little annoying for us to read. Tava, ABBV, a lot of locked, obviously. Yep. Let's go look up IOVA. Okay, that's awesome. So why did you move today, IOVA? Equity offering while some analysts boosted their price targets on the stock. Okay. So private owned reasons over here. Not really a small cap, and it wasn't really an FCA catalyst either. Not really sure if we're gonna see this one move around tomorrow. So, however, you guys got the idea. Small caps, always fun to go take a look at small caps, especially when small caps are getting so hot right now. You saw our friend Madaz has been killing it recently. What the hell is going on over here? How they do quality testing on vapes? What? I've seen those videos before, but this is crazy. Yeah, I'm done vaping anyway, so that's good. I'm so glad I don't vape anymore. Hopefully they don't test these stuff. They don't test lip pillows the same way. But I was talking about Madass. 5-figure club days back to back over here, killing it on the small cap stocks. Shout out to Madass, and let's go take a look at if some small caps moved over here in the after hours. There you go. More small caps with different tickers. We got 1.2 million shares and 173% up. EFOI, MOTS up 94% with 8.2 million shares, and you got 13 million shares, a stock up barely. It's a penny stock, up 56% over here in after hours. Usually stocks that are near $1 don't do anything. That's what I've noticed. But if MOTS tomorrow holds that dollar off the open, it's trying to get under $1 and it cannot. Its market cap's only $1 million. I'm guessing its floats probably $1 million. I'm a genius. Its floats also $1 million. So if the stock is holding $1 tomorrow, maybe there's a monster move to the north side. So watch out, MOTS over there. A 2% short float on a 1 million float stock, and it did what, 18 million or 8 million float revolution throughout the after hours. Like, who's playing these games, man? Come on, let's be real. Who's playing these games over here? So watch out for MOTS, watch out for EFOI, possibly something to keep an eye out for in the after hours tomorrow. Sorry, in the pre-market tomorrow. There might be other stocks in pre-market to keep an eye out for. For example, Hollow. That stock damn near hit $100 recently. And we were talking about the stock at $5.50 on my personal Discord, which is absolutely free, right? Absolutely free. So $5 is what we were talking about. This stock damn near hit $100 recently. Insane. And now look at where it's back down to $17. So that's where it usually happens when the rugs get pulled, sadly. Hollow right back to the downside. Now, if we ignore the small cap sector, maybe we can go back into some of these other stocks over here that recently announced earnings, but sadly not really continuing to go to the upside as we thought it would continue to. Where's my DraftKings earnings anchored VWAP? Oh, there it is. It's DraftKings. DraftKings right now pulling right back to the downside. It is right around in a support area where I would think supports should show up right before $40. So watch out for that. However, DraftKings looks like it wants to flush to the downside. It doesn't really want to continue its trajectory. But if supports show up at 40, maybe some longs over there to get into. Maybe the market is also something to keep an eye out for. If the market's red like it was today, DraftKings most likely breaks 40 tomorrow tomorrow and pushes into this consolidation area over here, right where the 100 period, sorry, not 100, right where the 50 period EMA is on the daily chart, into this 38.50. Also looks like the previous 52-week high, kinda into that 38.50 area. The previous earnings anchored VWAP is right around that area too, so I would expect some supports to show up right around the zones if we do break 40 to the downside. If 40 doesn't break to the downside and we kind of fail break 40, maybe some reversions right back into 45 over here on DKNG on a swing term scale. So swing term idea over there. Let's talk about Coinbase. I expected Coinbase to show you support at 180. Coinbase said, nope, no supports at 180, Prad. We're going to flush right past it to the downside, sadly. So whoever was watching that 180, we actually called that 180 long on the earnings day itself. However, yeah, we weren't really streaming yesterday, so we could not have called anything. Big flush to the downside on Coinbase. I guess part of that was Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit, what, 53K and then flushed afterwards. So that monster flush on Bitcoin kind of deleted the whole fun on Coinbase and Mara on Riot. That was exactly a market open too on 9:30 all the way till 12:20. It basically just kept going to the downside. Held 50K at the end of the day though. That's pretty bullish. Let's go. Held 50K. But Coinbase, sadly, too late for Coinbase. Maybe Coinbase got destroyed. A bunch of other cryptocurrency stocks going destroyed too, such as Mara, Riot. But if Bitcoin goes back up tomorrow, maybe we see a little bit of a reversion back on it. Coinbase also had recently banger earnings report. So I'm looking for Coinbase to go back into that 52-week high area of 187 to 194 and see if it can reclaim those areas and start launching off one more time through those into that 200 zone, which is what everyone's expecting, right? Everyone's looking for that 200 area to come back into play on Coinbase. Let's have fun, Coinbase, come on. But Bitcoin kind of being bearer of bad news over there. If you don't really want to trade Mara, hello, what am I doing? If you don't really want to trade Mara, Coinbase, or Riot on Bitcoin, because sometimes they might not clearly track Coinbase, they might not clearly track Bitcoin, then you might want to trade Bitcoin ETFs such as BITO or IBIT or GBTC. So keep an eye out for these stocks over here. These ones track Bitcoin a little bit more in lock and step than Coinbase, Mara, and Riot do at times. So keep an eye out for that. Also want to give a highlight to Roku. Big downside move. Continue on Roku. You guys know how happy that makes me. Fuck Roku. Send Roku to the downside. Roku looks like it wants to honestly keep on flushing. It keeps gapping down after earnings report. That was the earnings gap down, and this is a second day gap down. So it looks like Roku just wants to keep on getting destroyed. This is the first day down. This is the second day down. There's no supports just yet. It's pretty surprising. That candle looks like a little bit of a reversion candle, honestly. You can see how the candle looks like a lot of buyers came in right in front of $66 or so. And we were able to close in the higher end of the day overall. But with how the stock clearly got under some of the levels that I thought we shouldn't get under on the earnings report, I think Roku might have a little bit of a struggle over here. Not really sure what I want to do with the stock. If I'm already short, am I really scared on this stock? If I'm not scared, if I'm short and I'm not scared, that means my stops are not getting blown out. And if my stops are not getting blown out, then why would I worry, right? So in that case, the longs don't really have too much room or too much power, in my opinion, to the upside at the moment, unless we reclaim some of these levels. So I don't really see much scare for the shorts at the moment. I think the longs are still worried, and you're seeing that on the downside from Roku. So Roku might have a little bit more flush over here. At least I would hope it does, because you guys know how much I hate Roku on a personal basis. So keep watching out for Roku over there. DoorDash having a little bit of a muted move into its 52-week high. Was it its all-time high? It wasn't. Into its 52-week high over here. Probably something to delete off your watch list at the moment, or keep a alert near the 52-week high at 126, 125 or something. interesting on DoorDash if you're interested on that. They also have a lot of advertisements recently. That's a bullish candle, honestly, on DoorDash. Take a look at that candle on DoorDash over there. Nice bullish candle. Double bottom coming in kind of into 100, into 110. And looks like it wants to get bought right back up. So looks like DoorDash wants to move into this 120 one more time. Possibly you can set an alert at 120 for the breakout of 120. Then if it breaks out of 120, pulls back and holds 120 again, good opportunity to get long over there. Or if it just breaks out of 120, goes into 125, maybe you have an opportunity over there too if you're interested in those type of trades. So DoorDash is interesting over here into 120 for me. I'm going to put that one on the watch list. Crocs, not really something too interesting. I mean, it did break out, but right now it's kind of just stuck in the earnings day range. So earnings day 1, day 2, day 3. There's no such thing as day 4. You could make up a day 4 trade, kind of just make up your own setup and back test it if you want. That is possible, but I'm not really interested in trading Crocs on day 4, especially when the volume's also going to be declining. But Crocs over here holding up beautifully right between this 122 and this consolidation of 111. So you could look for possible trades over there. I'm not really too interested. But now we have the fun part. The fun part, which is the large cap, the big cap stocks, Apple, AMD, Microsoft, Meta. Apple going into a beautiful quadruple bottom. Is that even a setup? I don't know. I think triple bottom is a setup, but quadruple bottom, I think if triple bottom's bullish, then quadruple bottom should be even more bullish. That shows you that the buyers are showing in every single time. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You can even say day 5. Penta bottom coming in front of 180. Major support, major key level, major key alert. If I was DJ Khaled over there, major key alert, Apple 180, penta bottom. Maybe I should clip that and put it on Instagram. So watch out for this bottom over here getting respect out on Apple, and we possibly get a push back to the north side, especially if the markets look bullish too. So you might want to be interested on that trading opportunity on Apple. AMD also showing an opportunity right over there, but we have some sort of a symmetrical triangle, maybe a pennant where it fail broke to the downside recently, fail break to the upside now, and now we're seeing a fail break to the downside again. So a little bit of a shakiness overall, but if you ignore the green lines and only focus on the flat horizontal trend lines right in front of 162, 160 area on AMD, a possible trade over there. In my opinion, just leave AMD alone. Let it do its thing right now. We'll come play with AMD later on. Someone said, can you go check out Amazon? Amazon, however, which is actually getting added to the Dow index, could be a bullish catalyst for itself. I need to go delete these green dots. I keep adding green dots all the time when I draw these areas that I'm interested in. Anyways, Amazon breaking the gap that it made, sadly. Looks like it wants to close the gap, which is not really that bearish in my opinion. Even if we do close the gap, that's still opportunity for more buyers to step in who previously missed the train on the earnings move, and we start seeing the move up. However, if you are long after the earnings day already came out, which has been what, 2 weeks now, week 1, week 2, if you got long in this new area of 165, would you really want to see the stock closing the gap and getting below 160? If it does, how would you react if you got long into 165, 167, 168, or somewhere in those areas? Probably bearish, right? You would probably feel bearish, or you would probably feel scared or hurt if it starts going back into 160. My idea by saying that is you can expect a lot of stops near 160, near 158 for the longs coming in. If Amazon goes below anywhere those numbers, you are scared for life. If Amazon goes into 160, goes into 158, shows you support off of these areas, there's still some bullish tendencies maybe that could pour into Amazon because of that Dow catalyst, because of the overall market maybe boosting back up over here. So something to keep an eye out for. So watch out for that gap close. Watch out for the gap close and support. Watch out for the gap close and fail support. And that fail of support will trigger a lot of stops, which could bring bring in a little bit more deeper return to the downside on Amazon. So watch out for all those things on Amazon, for which I would say leave Amazon on the side burner. Maybe you can watch Amazon once it pulls back into these ranges and shows you supports back above 170, or maybe when it goes into 160 to show you supports into 160. Now the next mega tech we have is Meta, which is actually very interesting. Meta also showing you a little bit of a range, right? You have a nice little range, gap up after the earnings report. Look for supports to pop up into the low of that range. Look for resistance to show up at the high of that range. Actually, you could even draw up that range box like that. Put in that range high over there. So resistance to show up right in front of that 488.60s, and supports to show up right in front of that 466.50 on Meta. Until those levels show up, I'm not really too interested. Something that's actually bullish enough, however, you can see how the earnings anchored VWAP is on a slope up. You can see how the 9-period EMA, which is on the daily chart, the 9 EMA on the daily chart is just recently getting tested for support, and it's bouncing off of that. That means this stock has not yet cooled off its jets to the north side. Usually when you see a reversal coming in right there, you'll see the 9 getting under the 21 and a little bit of a downward move. You're not seeing that happen yet. Usually to even see that happen, you need to see the stock go test the 21, bounce off the 21 a little bit, and then you start seeing the reversal. So it looks like Meta has a little bit more possible upside over here. Maybe a little bit of a breakout coming in very soon. Watch out for that one on META. And if the market is bullish, even more of an opportunity. Microsoft, leave it in the dust. There's a support over here that you can play with. It's not really the cleanest right now near 400. A lot of people are getting chopped up near that 400, so leave 400 over there for Microsoft. Don't really play with that one just yet, in my opinion. Wait for Microsoft to go back above 400 and clearly show support above 400. You can see how right now it's actually under the 21 period EMA. That's the second green dotted line. It's under the 21 period EMA and also under the earnings anchored VWAP, showing me a little bit of weakness over here. Once again, 400, not really clean, not really as bullish as I wanted to see. Today's candle on the contradictory statement, pretty damn bullish candle if you ask me. Another contradictory statement over there, Sora. If you guys haven't checked out what that AI from OpenAI is, let me put my lip pillow away. That AI from OpenAI, Sora, which is a monster AI. Amazing capabilities for that one. The video generation capabilities. I mean, come on. AI is just going crazy these days, which is owned by Microsoft. So Microsoft basically owns OpenAI. And if that is bullish, then Microsoft should kind of gain some traction from it. And video should gain some traction from it. So watch out, Microsoft over here. Not really sure I want to trade it just yet. NVIDIA, you see how it's actually now going into the 21 period EMA. The 9 period EMA has been respected on a monster trend line from the starting of the year till right now, which is, I mean, what, February, only 2 months in. From the start of the year till now, we were on a monster rip of a trend to the north side, going from $400 to $700 on NVIDIA. You see how that 9 EMA gets respected all the way to the north side. Now we're actually trading between the 9 and the 21, making a little bit of a range over here. We expected the stock to not really break out before earnings report, right? That played out that way perfectly. Now we're waiting before the earnings report comes out. We'll wait and see what NVIDIA does tomorrow. I will suggest you guys to not make a trade. Don't YOLO gamble on earnings. Just wait tomorrow to see what happens over there. And then you can kind of gamble with this one after the report come out maybe. Did you cover SMCI ever already? Curious as to what's going on with that. I didn't really cover it, but we could talk about it. I mean, SMCI recently before announcing its earnings report, I think, where was it? Right over here. I actually have the anchored VWAP set up for that. So right over here on this day, on the 18th of January, they upgraded their earnings before the earnings report even came out. They basically over-guided their earnings report, and they started seeing a little bit of a traction off of that. Then on earnings report, they came out, another big move. Something that was interesting for me was SMCI's float. SMCI's float is only 45 million shares, and its short float's 10%. So I mean, if you ask me, this game's not done yet. What do I know at the end of the day, though? At the end of the day, only thing I know is I know nothing, Jack. But I mean, this game might not be done. People might be heavy short here, and you might see some people going, we like the short, we like the short, no, we like the stock dance. Some Jim Cramer dance is coming in and trying to disturb the short flow game over here. However, if we ignore the whole short float nonsense, the whole GME AMC nonsense, and just look at the Nvidia semiconductor AI hype that's going on, then it kind of makes sense, I guess, a little bit. The stock got upgraded price projections to what, $600 or so, which is right around where the earnings anchored VWAPs are. For me, it's right near $662. I think one of the analysts is target price. Wow, this was at 600 before. Now they're saying 745. So you can see how that one's right near the earnings anchored VWAP too. So the upgrade anchored VWAP is right near 662. The earnings anchored VWAP is near 730, and the analysts are now expecting basically 730. You're seeing the stock show some support off of that. The 21 EMA is giving a little bit of bounce too. Maybe you can draw this one over here real quick. Oh no, actually that one goes, this one goes here, that one goes there. So overall, if you're looking for some levels to possibly trade the stock tomorrow, I mean, we now have a little bit of an anchor VWAP pinch, I guess. Yeah, you have a beautiful anchor VWAP pinch setup, which is basically you're looking for a longer term anchor VWAP. Let's say the earnings anchor VWAP, which will be the first blue one. Ignore the second blue one, which will be the first blue one. You're looking for a breakout of this area to get short, or a breakout of this area to get long. I don't really like to do that. What I like to do is break out of this area and it pulls back to this area and rejects this area to get short. That's cleaner. Or it breaks out of this area, pulls back into this area, so shows some support in this area to get long. That's even also a good support. That's what I like to look for. So watch out for those type of setups over here. This anchor VWAP pinch setup actually comes from Brian Shannon. Shout out to Brian Shannon on Twitter. I think his Twitter handle is Alpha Trends. So go check it out. Yeah, SMCI. I don't think the game is done yet. Another stock which is in the same realm of short squeeze or opportunities over here is ARM. I think ARM, when they originally posted or when they originally IPO'd, the amount of shares that they IPO'd, I think the numbers were very, very little. I think only 10% of it. They were trying to create some sort of a short squeeze, them being SoftBank, because they own most of the float over here on the stock. And oops, not really a short squeeze, but create some sort of a squeeze over here because the stock's not really heavily shorted. It's only 0.91% short float. So short float, can't talk, Jesus Christ. But overall, they're trying to create some sort of a squeeze over here. Apparently, that's what the conversation on Twitter was going, and maybe they've done that. But right now, what I'm wondering is what will happen to this position on the IPO dump period. And I call it the IPO dump period because it's that's what usually happens. The actual terminology for it is the IPO lockup period, which is the investors, the holders for ARM holding or any recent IPO, they usually have a period of 180 days from IPO before they can offload their positions onto the open market, and they will be offloading for millions of dollars of profit, right? So watch out for that. Watch out for that flow going into the open market. I think it's coming up soon. March or something is the IPO lockup period for ARM. You will hear more about it once the date comes out closer and closer, I promise you. So keep an eye out for ARM over here. Another semiconductor stock that has been taken off recently because of the whole semiconductor hype. So you got to keep these ones on watch. Now, are you guys ready for the fun part of the stream over here? The interesting part of the stream, I guess, which is stops feed the price action. Stops feed the price action. I like that. Let's go. I like that. Reading the chat over here. BBBY2 FSWL. Oh, you guys talking about the short squeeze? Roku, you're drunk, go home. Roku's always drunk. Anyone who uses Roku is drunk, I feel sometimes, honestly. Well, I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of boomers and grandpas and grandparents who don't know how to use technology, and Roku for them is actually a pretty good tool, I guess. But if my grandpa knows how to use a goddamn laptop and he can trade the stock market at his own time at 90 years of age in his bed, I'm pretty sure everyone can learn how to do simple YouTube or simple online surfing and not need Roku. And hence Roku can go to the ground for all I care. Anyways, my rant's not that important. Let's go to the sponsored segment over here, which is the trade ideas segment, where we're going to do a little bit of back testing on our two of setups that we like. At the moment, I have a bunch of screens open. Ooh, look at that. CPOP is our number one winner for the most active stock in the after hours. Looks like who was moving the most? CPOP was moving the most. We talked about CPOP not too long ago. EFOI was moving a little bit too. Pre-market volume leaders, Tesla, Palantir. Who's moving up and who's moving down? Yeah, basically a pre-market scanner. Trade Ideas. This is a pre-built scanner that Trade Ideas gives us. But I want to talk about this paper first. This paper over here is about the opening range breakout 5-minute strategy. Now, this paper was honestly, it got published a long time ago. I remember reading something about this paper two years ago. Opening range breakout 5-minute. But apparently this paper got released recently on the February 16th of 2024. I remember reading this paper a long time ago by the same guy, Andrew Aziz. I don't think these two guys were on the paper. So what I'm thinking is Andrew Aziz was the guy who first wrote the paper. And then these two guys kind of quoted him or kind of took his research and worked with him a little bit to back test it on their own and do their own research. So shout out to them over here. I don't have access to the old paper anymore, but now we have access to this new paper. Shout out to our friend Dallas, my coworker Dallas, my good friend Dallas, who hooked me up with this paper. I kind of skimmed through this paper today. We built a scanner based on exactly what they asked us to do on their base strategy or on their entry strategy, and then we kind of modified it based on the way I could back test it using Trade Ideas. So what was the base strategy? Let's talk about that. The base strategy involves, this is a simple opening range breakout. You guys can do this on your own trading accounts and you guys can kill the markets with easy setups like this on stocks that are in play, right? So let's take a look at the setup over here. Very, very simple. The base strategy is you're looking for a stock that is at least $5 or more on the stock's opening price. The stock's average 14-day volume is at least 1 million shares or more. The ATR of the stock is at least 14 days or more and at least the average ATR of 14 days has to be at least 50 cents for the stock. That is the base strategy. What they did to this base strategy is modify it and kind of add the in-playness of stocks, something that we always talk about. Look for stocks that have a catalyst. Look for stocks that have an earnings catalyst, maybe a news catalyst, some reason to trade it. A couple ways to filter that is to see if stocks are having higher relative volume, to see if a stock is gapped up or gapped down in pre-market. After you find out a stock is gapped up or gapped down in pre-market, you use other tools such as Benzinga. Shout out to Benzinga. Go check out their code in the description below to go check out if they have an actual news behind it. And if the news, then maybe after you read it, you can create your own thesis or idea as to how bearish or bullish that news is. So you use that news overall to help you create an idea. But the overall basic setup is you're looking for a stock that has a higher relative volume. You're looking for a stock that has either gapped up or gapped down, and you're looking for a stock that has at least 1 million shares on at least a 14-day average. So that's what I've set up over here. They actually didn't talk about gap up or gap down. That's something that I put into my own requirements. I don't really want to trade stocks that are not gapping up or gapping down. If you're in yesterday's ranges, that's boring to me. right? If you're stuck in yesterday's range, I don't really want to care about you. Go away. Don't even pop up on my scanner. So I set this own restriction for myself. The default restriction was, relative volume of at least 1. I have a relative volume restriction of at least 2. I find relative volume 1 of is 1 is nothing. That's nothing. So I put a relative volume of at least 2. Based on this, I got a couple scanners built over here. You can see all the stocks that popped up on the scans for today, starting with DFS, which was the last long stock that popped up. The opening range 5-minute. Let's actually go to the 5-minute chart here. You can see how the opening range 5-minute on the stock after it breaks out gives you a beautiful entry, all right, into this area where you can pretty much hold it almost till the end of the day, I guess, where you get out for barely any profit, sadly. But let's do the back test. This is what we're here for. Let's do the back test. So start 9:30 a.m. and 4 p.m., right? Exit the trade. I want you to exit the trade at 4 p.m. That's what the white paper talks about. It talks about exiting the trade at the end of day if we don't get stopped out. So we're going to exit the trade at 4 p.m. no matter what. The risk management for the stock, how do we get stopped out? The way we get stopped out on the stock is if it breaks below the opening range 5-minute low. So we're going to enter on the break of the opening range 5-minute high, and we're going to get stopped out on the break of the opening range 5-minute low. That is our criteria for our stop. And the criteria for us taking profits is a simple, we're going to get out 100% of our shares at 4 o'clock. It's a little stupid, I know, but that's the way the white paper was made. So let's test it. We're going to test it for 61 days from today. Okay, so simulate the longs. In the meantime, while this one simulates the longs, we're going to quickly back test the short side too. Next. Want you back at dollars even though we're not using you. And you should be on the upside. Okay, awesome. And simulate sell. So now we got the short test coming up, and now we got the long test brewing for us. So let's take a look at it. Ignore these things. Okay, ignore these things. Couple things that I will mention while these things are brewing up for us. Let's go to the full cam. These tests are pre-programmed to 100 shares default. No matter the stock price, no matter the relative volume, no matter how much volume they're doing intraday, no matter the importance of the stock, no matter what the stock is, the daily chart is or whatever, which is all the conditions that you will actually need to consider before you enter the trade, right? You will consider where your stop is, how much the width of the stop is, because if you're entering somewhere over here and your stop is all the way $4 to the downside, you're not actually taking 100 shares. If your shutdown, let's say, is $200, or if your shutdown is $50, right? Shutdown for the prop traders who have a limit of how much money they can lose on a day. You have a limit on how much money you can lose. So you're not really taking that much amount of shares. So this by default is considering every trade 100 shares. So you got to keep that in mind. So some of the numbers that we're going to see over here are going to be skewed for this opening range breakout, because some of the wins might be bigger, some of the losses might be bigger. So the numbers are a little bit skewed. What we want to focus on more is not the amount of money we're making per day or the amount of money we're losing per day. What we want to focus on is the profitability of the setup, and how much is actually, if it's worth taking every single day or not. And we're gonna see that right now. So let's go to that part right over here. So take a look at it. So we got the long setup. As you guys can see, starting equity, it says $50,000, right? So let's say we have $50,000. This setup already makes us use $1 million worth of buying power. So technically, we don't have enough buying power to take some of the trades already, right? Like I said, ignore all of those things. You got to ignore how much how much size we're taking, how much commission we're taking per trade. I could actually give it dollars, I guess, but no, we're gonna do this. Okay, the profit factor to loss factor, the win loss ratios are pretty same. You have a 40% win rate on the opening range breakout trade. This also, the stops over here, you got to keep in mind, are at the break of the low of the range. the white paper actually talks about the stop being 10% of an ATR, which is something that I could not code in myself. So this stock, the white paper over here talks about the stops being at 10% of an ATR move upon entry, which would mean that your stop would be, if you enter over here, how much ever the stock's ATR is. So DFS's ATR is $2.23. So 10% of $2.23, your stop would be basically that much below your entry, which is not much. How much is 10% of $2.23? It's not just like 2 cents. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. 23 cents? Don't I get stopped out on that? Yeah, the white paper actually makes you... Okay, there you go. We actually have today's trades. So let's go see if we can find what is today's ticker? DFS. There we go. DFS, we actually make $28 apparently somehow. So we exit at 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, we do exit at 4 o'clock. We don't get stopped out on it. That's right. But if we entered at 10:06 at $12, so $124.14. Let's go to the daily chart over here. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. So we enter somewhere here. We enter long right there. At what time again do we enter long? At 10:06. 10:06. So much deeper. 10:06. Somewhere on this candle we enter long, and we enter long at 124.14, and 23 cents away from that. I'm already stopped out on this trade, bud. I'm already stopped out on this trade, right? But the white paper makes you, the white paper, which is where the research was done. The white paper says the stop is at a 10% of ATR upon entry. So you enter on the break of the high day, opening range 5-minute high, and you have a stop at 10% of ATR, which I felt was very arbitrary. If I was taking this trade after it popped up on the scanner, right? Let's say it popped up on the scanner. Okay, boom. I pull it up on the daily chart. I chart my levels. Boom. I have my levels mapped out. Now I go back to the 5-minute. I have my order sent out for the breakout of the opening range high. But like I said, I like to look for the stocks break out to the opening range high, come back and show support above the opening range high, which is a much better long, because then you only get long here and you risk pretty much down there. Your risk to reward is much better, and you're not really holding for the end of day move. You're like, you know, being more proactive with it. You probably get out right here on the divergence or the when the 9 EMA goes under the 21 EMA, kind of showing you the trend is done. You can even throw in a Bella scalp trend line of some sort over here showing you that trend is done. Multiple ways to be active with it. But since we're coding, since we're back testing, simple back testing parameters, according to their back testing over here, they actually back tested for a long period of time. A long period of time, and their results show over here from 2015 to 20... Wait, what? That's only January 15 to January 25th. That's not 2 years. Where is the reports? Ah, there you go. Oh, this is all different ORBs. That's pretty cool too. So you can see how the 5-minute opening range breakout was the most positive one compared to the 60-minute range breakout. That's pretty interesting. Okay, the 60-minute range breakout actually nets you less money than putting your money in the S&P 500 breakout. A combo gives you pretty much the S&P 500, so you might as well just invest in the S&P 500 at that point. But if you really want to get spicy, then trading the opening range 5-minute breakout and trading the stocks that have relative volume, trading the stocks that have a catalyst and a reason to be trading gives you more money. And honestly, that algo can be set up so easily. You can honestly use softwares like Trade Ideas to trade for you. Trade Ideas have partnership with a bunch of prop companies, so you can use this to trade for you directly, basically. And you can see how if it did trade for you, you would have a little bit of decent results, not really amazing results, right? Decent results. Sadly, yesterday you would have lost what? SMCI would have lost you $4,000. But once again, like I said, if you go long, or if you're shorting SMCI, you're not really shorting it with 100 damn shares. You're not doing it with 100 shares. That's ridiculous, right? So SMCI over here kind of skews the results. Some of the results over here are skewed, but the numbers that we really care about is the win rate. The win rate is very important to me. The profit factor is only 1.15 is because we take our wins only at 4 o'clock. You can see how all the wins are at 4 o'clock exits, and all the losses are before 4 o'clock, right? All the losses are before 4 o'clock, which means some of the wins that we do take are probably way bigger wins well before 4 o'clock, right? So that's something that you would have done actively managing the trade. This is just an entry system for you. Afterwards, you would have to use an exit system to manage the trade for you. This is a nice little tool, however, to visualize and understand how the opening range breakout can help or make our setups for the long run. Something that you guys can use. Once again, keep an eye out for earnings stocks. Any stock that has earnings, any stock, if it has volume of at least 1 million shares on a 14-day average, it's easily doing a relative volume of more than 2. If it's an earning stock, that is, right? Easily does an average volume of more than, a relative volume of more than 2. At that point, and I promise you, it probably gaps up or gaps down too. And now you're just waiting for the stock to first 5 minutes to play out. Then the stock either breaks the opening range 5-minute high and then pulls back and shows you support at the opening range 5-minute high, or it breaks the opening range 5-minute low, pulls back and shows you resistance at the opening range 5-minute low, at which point you get long or you get short, and you ride that stock till the end of the day, or you ride it until you see the trend not really going in your favor anymore. So look out for those setups over there. I'm glad that white paper came out. It kind of motivated me to build the scanners over here. So I'm going to be looking forward to including the setup over here for myself in the near future. But what I want to show you guys more is the setup that I've been working on. More importantly, the setup that, oh baby, that I'm getting so excited to talk about. Let's show you the back test numbers for this bad boy. So what does this setup do? This is basically looking for stocks that have gapped up, right? Gapped up to begin with, or yeah, we'll talk about only longs at the moment. Stocks that gapped up to begin with. After gapping up, they need to pull back. So we're looking for a gap, give, and go setup. But along with the gap, give, and go, I want to see something very particular for my entry. Very, very particular for my entry. And that particular sign for my entry is the Bella Scalp entry. I want to see the stock going into one direction with same candles. So going to the downside if you gapped up, making a new low, maybe even closing a gap. Sometimes those trades end up being good for me. Maybe closing a gap, going to the downside, and then 2 or 3 more candles on the 2-minute or the 5-minute straight red candles. So we have something set up over here for our scanner. Our scanner shows up stocks that go to the downside after gapping up and after meeting all our parameters. When do I like to enter the stock? I like to enter the stock between 9:35, first 5 minutes, right? Between 9:35 and 12 o'clock. I don't like to enter the setup after 12. What I have found is stocks after 12 don't work on the setup. For example, the stock popped up on my scanner today at 136. Don't work. This setup doesn't really work as much after 12 o'clock. So don't really want to be involved in it. Now I'm thinking about it actually. I have 2 setups that are both very heavily 935 based, which is the opening range 5-minute breakout, and this one. Anyways, 935 to 12, I don't want to enter this trade after 12 o'clock. If I am in this trade at 12 o'clock, I want to be out of this trade by 1 o'clock, meaning it's most likely not going to work if it hasn't worked already in 1 hour of my entry. That's just something that I believe. I haven't really tested it to the fullest to see those numbers come out that way, but I don't want to be in that trade past 1 o'clock. That's something that I've seen based on my own trades in the setup. But now we got a back tester working for us. So 1 o'clock, I don't want to do it more than that. Risk management, smart stop by dollars and smart stop by stop losses. This is kind of what I've seen on the back testing of these trades is it's actually taking profits where I would want to take profits, and it's stopping out where I would want to stop. But sometimes it's also giving the stock a little bit extra room to get stopped out, something that I would not do. But it actually just means that I would lose less money in the long run, right? If this back test is running and it's giving some of these stocks more stop than I want to give it, then that means I'm most likely not going to lose as much money. And sometimes it's taking profit too early. That means I would maybe even more money than what the numbers are showing. So bullish sentiment all the way across. Now we're going to test 61 days back. So let's test these numbers out. These numbers are going to be amazing, chat. Watch this one. Photo shoots, that's nice. My day was so-so. Photo shoots? Who's taking photo shoots? Oh yeah, Dieter has photo shoots. I forgot. Yeah, Dieter, how'd your photo shoots go? I know you didn't trade today. I know you have photo shoots. Oso still in here. Oso says relaxing. Oso, hopefully you having a good day, my friend. I know you had a little bit of a whatever day, but we come back tomorrow, brother. I think honestly, it's because I wasn't in the Discord today, right? My bad. I didn't wake up today. My bad. I'll wake up. We'll sit on Discord together. We'll have some fun. I'll wake up. Maybe we'll even pour into your stream for some technical analysis tomorrow or so. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be up tomorrow and we'll talk about it. But right now, I want to show you the beautiful numbers over here. So this one, I guess you can kind of look at these numbers a little bit more, because the buying power required is only 23,000. So let's say you have a 50K account. Let's say you have a 25K account, which a lot of people do. Right? Let's say we have a 25K account, which a lot of people do. You actually come out with a nice little 29.4% return from 61 days from today, right? Nice little 29.4% return over here. Your average win rate on the setup, 63% win rate, and a profit factor of 4. So beautiful profit factor. Your risk to reward is more than 2, which is exactly what you want to look for. Your risk to reward on the opening range breakout setup was actually not 2 because of where we had the stop programmed to. So sadly, the back test over there brings the numbers down for the opening range back test. But if you manage your trade properly and if you do things better for yourself, when the stocks pop up on that scanner, the opening range breakout can also go to 2, 3, 4, and so on. And you can you can see that in the white papers that came out from the Andrew Aziz team. But this is my setup over here. The setup showing you monster trading opportunities. I mean, this is today you can see how we actually didn't even have a trade. Today, no trade, right? Nothing popped up on the long scanner. The one trade that popped up on the long scanner was at 136, and we don't enter trades past 12 o'clock or 12:30 was it, right? So no trades for me today. You can see how a lot of trades, no trades pop up, and some days we do lose. That's fine. Some days we do lose. We enter Spotify short over here on what is it? Let's go back test real quick. This is on the what day was it? 6th of February. Okay, let's go to the charts. Oops, Spotify. Let's go to the 5th of February, or was it 6th? 6th of February. Oh, earnings day. Look at that. So very much in play day, right? Very much in play day. We're looking to get long on the stock, if I remember correctly. We're entering long at 11:52 on this position. 11:52, pretty late. This is the down move over here that fills our criteria to get long on the scanner. Something that I will let you know, that we will not be entering the stock until this area comes into play, because our trend line is over there. But according to the scanner, we're gonna take a look at it. So to be fair, the only trade we had on this day was a Spotify long, and technically we would not have even been long on this trade until much later on this day, at which point with no trade for us to begin with. So the $135 we lost on this day, we would have not even lost on this day. Backtest successful, because it did not really break the trend line. We needed to see it break the trend line. We need to see it to break the trend line and come back and pull back. Now let me show you what I'm talking about when I mean about that. Coinbase on the 16th of February. Coinbase on the 16th of February. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. 16th of February. Earnings day move, right? Earnings day move. Now, Coinbase popped up on the scanner and we enter at 9:45 at $180.56. So 9:45, which is, where is it? 9:45 on this candle down move over here. Wait, how do we not get stopped out on that? Oh, 9:54. I'm stupid. I thought it said 9:45. We enter at 9:54. I was like, wait, if I enter at 9:44, I actually get stopped out, and that's not even the criteria where I'm supposed to enter the trade in. What the hell? How did the algo or the backtest enter on that? That was kind of freaking me out. But okay, anyways, let's go to the 2-minute chart. Let's go to the February 16th again. Where's Feb 16th? Is this Feb 16th? This is Feb 16th. That's the criteria right there that triggers our algo. 554 right there, bang, we enter long at 180 something, right? Even if you throw in the trend line that I was talking about. So let's throw in the trend line, right? Throw in the trend line right there. So the stock breaks the trend line, pulls back, holds the support. You can even get long here or here, right? Pulls back, holds a higher low. This is where we get long. This is where we get long, and you're able to hold that stock for a higher move. And this is where around where the stock gives up the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA. This is where you kind of start taking profits on the position. So it matches exactly my entry criteria, and even the profits, 185 is well above where I would have actually taken, sorry, well below where I would have actually taken profits. My profits would have been into today's VWAP into 190, and they're exiting me full trade at 185. So even though this was a big day, this would have been an even bigger day on the back test. But just because how the back test parameters have to be set up, it's a little finicky, the trade idea software. Plus, you can't really set it up the way I want to set it up, which is for prop trading. This might be set up a little bit for retail trading and so on. For people who have individual accounts, you can see that exactly why, because it sets up over here some starting equity. My starting equity is $1 million, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My starting equity is $1 million. And if we set it to $1 million over here based on how much I have in my prop firm account, you can see how these numbers completely get destroyed, right? They completely get destroyed. That's why these numbers don't really mean much to me for a prop trader. What numbers mean to me most is the profit factor, the win percent, which is 63% of these trades are winners. That's amazing. And the winners to losers ratio, which is not even accurate. You know, the winners are getting cut well before they should be won, and the losers are actually being held longer than they should be held. So these ratios could be even better. So I'm so excited for my personal setup over here that I've been working on, and that was for the long side. Let me show you to the short side a little bit. The short side kind of is the same numbers. The win rate kind of drops a little bit because obviously the market's at all-time highs. We've been ripping to the north side. The win rate and the profit ratio drops a little bit for this side of the trade, but still a very amazing setup that I've been loving to back test over here for the last few days, and I can't wait to start putting the setup into work once I start going back to trading starting next week properly. I think Thursday though I should be in the market. There you go. 53% win rate. The win rate drops a bit. The average winner to loser also numbers very skewed over here. The 100 share issues comes into a problem also, so that's a problem. But once we ignore all of this stuff and kind of only focus on the win rate, that's all I really care about. Focus on the win rate, focus on the profit factor. The profit factor, I promise you, the numbers are skewed for both of them. The numbers are much better when you actually do the back testing on your own, because you're understanding where to exit and where not to exit. A couple of things that were very, very informative for me to kind of look at was what was the best time of day for me to enter a trade and not to enter a trade. Most of the trades were entered between 10 o'clock. The profit factor was 2. But the trades that I'm entering from 10:15 to 10:29, the profit factor for those trades around is like 1093 or so. That's pretty insane. Maybe that's because that's where I'm exiting my trades. Yeah, maybe these numbers are also skewed a little bit. The price, okay, that's pretty cool. Max, I win 100% of my trades over there. Okay, that's pretty cool. Looks like I really have struggled with the trades that are under $20. Huh. Maybe we unlock something. Look at the win rate and how it drops for stocks that are under $20. And those are 25 trades in that section. That's insane. I guess that's because most of the trades were in that section. But if we want to eliminate more of the outliers that lose for us, then you just maybe put in that parameter over there. You don't want to see stocks lower than $20. Then we might just see more winning stocks. But you can see how there's this one stock over here between $200 to $300 that did end up being a loser for us, sadly. That was probably Spotify. Yeah, probably Spotify at $135. So you can see that. Trade every stock above 20 bucks. Exactly. Everything above 20 bucks.
Wow!
Beautiful. Yeah, trade every stock above 20 bucks basically. That's basically what we're seeing over here. Interesting though. Interesting back test over here on my own test over here for the long side and for the short side. Yeah, I'm still manipulating with this every single day. You know, I'm playing with the settings. I'm playing with the things I would love to do, which is, set it how I want it set up. I can't really set up my stop loss the way I want to set up for this back test. For example, I can hit configure, but I want to do it in a certain way for the stop losses, and I want to do it in a certain way for the profits too. So I can't really seem to be figuring out the ability to do that at the moment. So for now, we're just gonna have to stick with the smart stops, which is a pre-programmed AI-based stop or a time-based stop for these back tests, and the numbers that we're getting are absolutely amazing for both of these. I mean, absolutely amazing for the opening range breakout and for the what I'm calling the GGBS setup, the gap give Bella scalp. The gap give Bella scalp setup for the long and the short side. Very, very excited to see what happens on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Today's stream was a little long, eh? Today's stream was a little long, about 2 hours. Don't get used to these guys, because once I start going back to work, they'll probably be cut back into only an hour and a half long streams, because your boy has to go get his beauty sleep. Little baby needs to go get his beauty sleep. No, I appreciate everyone who tuned in. I appreciate Think with Bookmap. Alex from the Think with Bookmap family. You have shown a lot of support to me recently. Thank you very much, my friend, for all the love, for the grades and all that constant support. I actually can't wait to see what we can grow together. Maybe an amazing family and a family of streams. You, me, Oso. You also have a bunch of other streamers in your family, Trader Trash, and so on. Shout out to all of them. Maybe we can grow a good family of trading network where we can keep a channel 24/7 with shows all the time or something to keep an idea with. Trader Trash, yeah, Trash Trader. Did I call him Trash Trader? Trader Trash. But all that fun stuff. I think we can have some fun stuff over there. Also, awesome to meet you, and obviously we're gonna brew up some fun stuff with Oso over there. Oso wants to create some podcast with me. Maybe we can do something talking about podcasts though. The Pradcast might be having a new episode soon. We're in talks with one of the people from Trade Ideas. I'm pretty sure you guys know already who, but we're in talks with one of the people from Trade Ideas to show up on our stream one day soon, talk about the software, talk about his trading, talk about what he's doing at the moment currently. So stay tuned for that. More things will be revealed soon once we get things finalized. So Pradcast, I think Pradcast only had 2 episodes so far, so we're gonna have a 3rd episode of Pradcast very soon. Tomorrow, after the after hours show, coming up again at 8 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, so make sure you tune in for that one. And Sunday night service on Sunday 6 p.m. so make sure you're in for that one too. All my social media, if you're losing track of all of these show names that I'm coming up with, I'm just making up show names so that way I can sell each show name as a product to sponsors. Be like, hey, you can sponsor podcast, you can sponsor after the after hours show, right? I'm just coming up with show names because I'm being business minded over here. But at the end of the day, if you're losing track of all this craziness, just hit me a follow on the social media, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, where all the fun stuff is right below in the description. Shout out to my sponsors on the day, Trade Ideas, Trader Sync. Both of those softwares you can use code PRAD15, get 15% off, and Benzinga to keep you up to date on the latest news. Last but not least, I have a watch list that you guys saw me basically type out not too long ago. We have some levels over here mapped out on the watch list. If you want to subscribe to my watch list and if you want to get some added benefits on the streams over here, go check out my Patreon. If you want to support me on my Patreon, you get some added benefits over there. You can also support me over here on YouTube to become a member, and we can rock the member family. Today was actually the first day I got my first super chat, so shout out to that. We got a $1 super chat from one of the Trader Think with Bookmap family members. I think that's insane. So hey, thank you for that. I appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. I can't wait to see you guys all tomorrow. Have a banger day on the market, and wait, let me actually do this. Let me set up the redirect to our friends at there we go. Set up the redirect to our friends at Think with Bookmap. Schedule 6 p.m. 24. Okay, awesome. There we go. Save. And make sure you guys go check out them at the Think with Bookmap family if you haven't already. We're gonna move the channel over, or we're gonna send the viewers over there. See you guys tomorrow. Have a banger day. Have a great night. Bye.